Hey YouTube, this is Preykousis from Lifestyle Gaming. Now, as you can see, I am playing Star Wars The Old Republic, and recently, more specifically a few hours ago, this game received its 1.2 update. Now, one of the biggest features with this update was the user interface being moddable, and as you can see, I've already modded mine, and this is the first time I've modded the user interface, and I kinda like it like this. Before it was too big, clunky, but I think I've improved it quite a bit. For me anyway. You might not like it, but this is just my setup. I thought I should show you guys. Now I've moved the menu bar into the top left corner and used to be over in the center over here. Some people might not want it here. I didn't even want it on, but I thought I should keep it activated or enabled just because it might be useful sometimes. I've kept the social bar in the same place. I've just moved it over slightly to accommodate the menu bar. I've moved the instance bar, whatever you want to call it, when you go to a store area. I've moved that just under the social bar and it kind of fits in nicely. The map, I've swapped places with the chat box, so I do like it better up here. I think it looks much better. I toyed with making the scale bigger, but the problem was it didn't look sharp enough, so I thought I'll keep it at 1.0 tops. Some of these are decreased scale. Now moving on to the player frames. Now if you notice, these frames down here, the player frame and the target frame, including the experience bar, they used to be centered in the middle. They also used to be a much higher scale. I've reduced these to 0.75 I believe, and I've moved them closer to the companion bar because I think it looks better, more streamlined, having your companion frame, your own player frame, and then the target frame right next to it, and it's a much smaller frame so it doesn't take up as much screen. Experience bar, I tried centering that the best I could underneath the player frame and target frame. Right, moving on to the quick slot bars now. You notice I've kept quick slot bar 1 and 2 right here. I've kept these kind of in the same place. They used to be in the middle again underneath my player frames. The only difference is I've scaled down the size again because I think they'll look better like this and take up less room on the screen. I've tried to make them look as neat as possible. I'm kind of OCD like that. I like it looking all nice and neat. And this is what's on my Razer Naga MMO mouse right down here. So 1 through 12 and Alt 1 through 12 all on the mouse pretty much. Now these over here, these are just me standard keyboard 1 through 12, and the second bar quick slot 4 I might use for my control and Naga 1 through 12. Now I find that's kind of nice for me. I like the layout of that. Some people again might not like it. They might like all 4 in one area, or they might think it's a bit weird, but I see this as basically Naga down here and keyboard up here. And I know the abilities are a bit messed up right now, but I've not had time to change anything since the update, so you can forgive me for that. Now as for parties, I've personally changed the party tab or group tab to operations tabs because I felt it looked more better. I've had to lower this so it goes in line, and I've got the frames going all the way down to about here at the bottom of this other quick slot bar. I might as well actually show you the actual layout I've got up. Now as you can see, my quick slots are very overlapping, so they fit together right nicely. The same goes for my other quick slots down here. Everything's kind of overlapping. I've got my social tab right here underneath the map. My social notifications, that's when someone comes online, you get mail. I've got my holocom to the right of the map when you get holo communication. Focus target, I've got no idea what that does. I'm sure someone will tell me, no idea, so I just left it where it was. All these red ones over here, these are ones I've not kept on. I've disabled these. I personally did not like them on. Player cast bars, target cast bar, I don't really care about them. Party, of course, I've disabled that, so I've changed into operations instead. And I've also kept my quest in the same place, in the top right corner. And tutorials are in the same place, even though I should turn it off. Target of target, I know some people are fans of that, but I'm fairly new to MMOs. I've played Star Wars Galaxies and World of Warcraft before, but not as much as I have. This is my first real MMO in my opinion, so I'd rather not be messing around with target of target yet. I know it can be useful, but for now I'm keeping it off. And as for conversations, I've not really been to conversations yet, but I've kept the response wheel in the same place. I kind of moved it and I can't get it centered. I didn't want to mess around with the full interface again to get it centered perfectly, which kind of does piss me off, but I don't really care. Conversation portraits, I've lowered them down because they used to be all the way up here, but I've lowered them down to the bottom. Conversation rewards, I'm not sure what that is. I think that's like when you finish the quest, so I've kept that there. I've got no idea until I figure out what it does. PvP, I've kept everything as default, so Warzone, everything's default. I've not been in the Warzone yet, so I can't see that. Space combat, everything's default, and the rest is just how it goes. I've also turned off the companion quick bar, as you can see here, because again, that's something I don't really want. But all in all, I think it's a totally improved UI, at least for me it is. And I think this improves the quality of the game tenfold, being able to customise your own UI. It should be something that was in the game at launch. I know for a fact BioWare said 1.2 is what they wanted at launch, but EA kind of forced them to release a game. But overall, I think it looks much better for myself. It's more scaled down, it's more neat, more tight. That's how I like it, to be quite honest with you. And the good thing about having a chat bar down here, in the bottom right it feels more at home than me, rather than up top, and I can always turn the chat off and then I get an empty area down here. Oh, and also the large tooltip, which gives you information on abilities and everything else. I've moved it just above my quick slot bar, as you can see popping up, going through the abilities, and I've kind of tried to line it up with the abilities as well, and I think that goes quite well. I initially turned it off, but I realised I missed it too much and I wanted to keep it on. But yeah, overall that's my current first attempt at messing with my UI, and I think it looks a million times better compared to the old clunky one we used to have. I'm sure once I get used to this I'll love it even more. Anyway, thanks for viewing this guys, and see you later.